what if I told you there's a super counterintuitive way to spot high intelligence? And get this, it has nothing to do with what someone knows. Nope, it's all about what they're willing to admit they don't know.
So let me ask you this. Picture it. You're in a super high-pressure job interview, right? The heat is on. And then, bam, you get hit with a question you just can't answer. What do? Like, what's the actually smart move here? I'm willing to bet the answer is the absolute opposite of what you're thinking right now.
And the reason that real answer is so unexpected, it's because most of us, we're all walking around under this powerful, kind of unspoken illusion about what it means to look smart.
Yeah, the common belief is pretty simple, right? To look smart, you gotta have an answer for, well, everything. We all feel that pressure, don't we? To just project total competence, to never ever get caught flat-footed, especially when the stakes are high. But here's the thing, that's a total trap.
So to really see why it's such a trap, we have to get that we humans, we communicate on two totally different levels. You've got what we say, and then you've got what we actually do. Okay, think of it like this. We have our first language, which is our words, and then our second language, which is our behavior. And we obsess over the first one, right? Crafting the perfect words. But so often, those words are just a performance. They're a tool for deception, and honestly, they're pretty easy to fake. But behavior? Oh, that's where the truth has a funny way of leaking out. It is so much harder to fake genuine security. And when you put someone under pressure with a really tough question, that's when their ego often just takes the wheel. And believe me, their behavior is going to tell you every single thing you need to know.
You see this all the time. Insecure people, they often resort to what you might call verbal pyrotechnics. Using all this flowery, super extravagant language, not because they're trying to communicate an idea, but to hide the fact that they don't actually have one. It's pure showmanship designed to distract you from the total emptiness behind the words.
So what does this look like in practice? Well, these are the classic insecure responses. They'll try to just bullshit their way through it, or they'll double down on an answer even when they totally know they're wrong. They'll whip out that overly complex language we just talked about, or just project this fake confidence, really hoping nobody calls their bluff. Every single one of these, it's just a giant flashing sign of an ego that can't stand being challenged.
But a truly powerful, really intelligent mind, they do something completely different. And this is the exact moment that separates real intellectual security from deep insecurity.
A truly intelligent person, they'll pause, they'll look you right in the eye, and they'll say something like, "You know what? I don't really know the answer." And I'm telling you, that simple phrase is one of the most powerful things you can ever hear.
This, my friends, is what we're calling the I don't know power move. It's simply the act of admitting you don't have the answer. And what it does is send this massive signal of high self-awareness, and this is the crucial part, deep intellectual security.
And let's be totally clear, this is a power move. It shows that this person is way more interested in finding the actual truth than in just putting on a show. They aren't threatened by the gaps in their own knowledge. In fact, they're comfortable with them. Now, just think for a second why this matters, say on a team or with a leader. This is the kind of person who helps everyone learn and innovate, not someone who shuts down new ideas just to protect their own ego. And that is the hallmark of a truly intelligent mind.
Okay, so this is all great in theory, but how can you actually use this insight in the real world? Well, there's a really simple test you can run to spot this in action.
It's called the left field test. It's easy. Next time you're in one of those high-pressure situations, like a meeting or an interview, just ask a question that comes way out of left field, something they couldn't possibly have prepared for. And then, just watch. Just observe. Is their reaction coming from a place of ego and performance, or is it coming from a place of security and honesty?
When you do this, you stop just kind of groping around in the darkness, trying to figure people out. You move past that surface-level one-dimensional charm, and you start seeing people in 3 dimensions. You start gaining real social intelligence.
So, I'm going to leave you with this to think about. Have you ever used the I don't know power move yourself? Maybe on purpose, maybe just by instinct? And what about when you saw someone else do it? What happened? It's such a simple tool, but I promise you, it can totally change the way you see everyone around you.